Hey everyone!
Good
Squad
evening.
and glitter sparkle and all the stars powwow. Here we go. Oh, do you know what? I've missed these. I feel like we were almost ready for this last week. Laura got a little bit excited.
Got a bit overexcited, and then Lisa was like, "We're not doing it tonight." I went, "Oh, sorry, wrong night."
And there's not really a pattern to the dates in this, guys, just so you know for future. There's more, it's more just as it fits with what's going on with the weeks, but they're ideally roughly sort of 2 weeks apart. So there'll be one at the beginning of the month and one at the end, mid sort of towards the end of the month to gear you up. And hopefully these are planned at the right times as you start to get those lulls in like, oh, I don't really know what to do with my business. Hopefully we come to your rescue, and that's the point of when they are. So the chat is available for you if you wish to use it. And tonight we're going to be talking about networking, but before we do, and you've got Laura and I as your guest speakers tonight. Um, we are just going to go through the planning ahead document, talk about the month of July. Laura and I will try not to bang on about Orlando too much.
I'm totally
Uh,
not. I'm totally gonna. I'm sorry.
and we will try and gear you up with lots of ideas for the month that are gonna bring you all of the PRV. So, and for those of you that are already active and already smashing out huge orders, absolutely phenomenal. I know there's lots of you that are on here that are working hard to bring your orders in. So,
Just a little side note that, like as Lisa said, these are obviously going to drop in. Bear in mind, when we're here in 2 weeks, we will be sharing. It's probably going to be a little bit of a longer Zoom because we'll be sharing all the tea, spilling all the tea from SFR. So very exciting.
we will be. I can't wait. Okay, so if you haven't looked at it already, the planning ahead document is where you will always find it on your workstation. For those of you that are brand new, when you log into your workstation, if you hit the news tab, you will find a planning ahead document, which is absolutely brilliant. And since they've done these, I think it's been such an incredible way for you to plan your month and plan what you're going to be doing within your business. So here's what we've got in the interactive planning ahead guide for July 2023. And I will be honest, I haven't even looked at this month. I just go by that end of month Zoom that Dan does. So July curated bundles. I'm going to be completely honest with you. I haven't even looked at these. So I'm going to be edging my way onto my workstation to look at these and spend some time on this because they're really good ones. So Scentsy create a curated bundle for us every month. Last month, the lemonade bundles for me and you, Laura. I think both of us
Yeah,
sold them
yeah.
really, really well. And this month we've got 3 new bundles. So we've got the Blossom and Thanks fragrance flower bundle, the Cheers to 20 bestsellers 6-bar bundle, and then the Happy Hour 6-bar bundle. And there is a little link to all of those where you can go and have a little look at those. So if you haven't looked at those, they're under specials or collections off the top of my head. And you can have a look at each of the bundles. There's normally some flyers knocking about for those. But for your customers that don't mind shopping on your website, and for those of you that are really trying to push your website, these are great bundles to direct your customers to, because for the lazy shopper like me, that like to be influenced, if somebody says, oh, these are your bestsellers, I will probably go and buy that 6 bundle, and then I will check out and I'll be on my merry way, and I will go with, this is what everybody loves as the bestsellers bundle. So I'm a bit lazy like that. When it comes to shopping, I'll
And
be
a perfect example is we obviously go to the same gym and we get chatting to people, and we've said to everyone in the gym, like, obviously, if you want to order, just go to whoever you know the best. And a guy came up to me last week, James, who I know, he said, my wife wants to order Scentsy. I messaged her on Instagram, and they were her exact words. She was like, I just want some wax. I want a good mix. Like, what should I go for? So I sent her a couple of the collections, and she ordered the summer collection. People want ease. That's why Scentsy do these curated bundles.
Yeah, and I think they're really, really clever. I mean, sometimes I do wish that they had a little bit more of a discount on them. And obviously, where they are bundle and save, you can offer them at a slightly discounted price if you wanted to. You could split them into 2 3 packs, the 6 packs if you really wanted to. But to be completely honest, I just love that I've just literally got them up. So the Cheers to 20 bestsellers bundle is Amazon Rain, Clothesline, Coconut Lemongrass, Jammy Time, gross. Luna, Shimmer, and White Amber and Teak. Apart from Jammy Time, I would buy that bundle, or I would be buying
No.
whopping jammy time out. That is a good 6-pack bundle for those of your, especially for customers that are looking for really strong waxes. Luna's probably the only one that's not really strong in there, but if you warm a whole bar of it, it's still good. Still
I
strong.
remember the first time Lisa would ever put jammer time in her warmer, and I think in the 10 minutes it took me to drive around to her house, she was like, "Oh my God, I need to take out all my warmers. It's disgusting."
I just don't get that bar. I really don't. It's a bit like Clean Breeze. Those two are like bars that go in and out. And I'm like, no. I love Jammy Time Laundry though. Really funny how I love the laundry, but do not like the bar. Oh, Emma, you are my people. Okay, so the happy hour 6-bar bundle is blue agave and melon, mango matcha, pineapple mango, raspberry hibiscus tea, and watermelon tangerine. I feel like I'm one short. And kiwi fruit. That is my bundle. That bundle is literally made for me. That they are all scents that I would warm. Probably scents in there, Laura, you wouldn't warm because they make your eyes water.
Yeah, I do like them all. I would want to warm them.
There's one or two fruity ones in there for you.
Probably couldn't warm pineapple mango or mango. I can't kiwi fruit. I'm all good though, and that makes me happy because I love it.
If you've not tried kiwi fruit, put it as your homework to order yourself a bar because you will thank me for it. I promise. I promise. So they're really good bundles. And then you've got the Blossom and Thanks fragrance flower bundle, which I love. It's like one of each of the different styles of bundles of flower. In Black Raspberry Vanilla, Luna, and Amazon Rain. So really, really super popular fragrances. I have really good feedback from Black Raspberry Vanilla. Luna always got good feedback from, and Amazon Rain is just incredible. So if you're looking for good bundles to push your customers towards, those are brilliant. Some really good ones there as well. So you can, mix and match. You could split bundles if you wanted to. Or I would just try and, get your customers buying the actual bundles as they come, because that's what they've got there for. Okay, so between the 8th and the 10th of July, so literally really anytime now, bring back my bar voting for fragrances from the very first Scentsy catalogue is starting. And I'm excited about this because I want Bring Back My Bars to be things that I've never tried before. For me, I'm more excited to try bars that I've never tried than bars that were like available for like four years ago. Like when I see things like hold on, I'm trying to think.
No. Heidi's
I'm trying to think. Mad About Magnolia. That doesn't excite me. I know it might some of your customers, but for me, I really would like to try banana
nut bread.
That Heidi absolutely like. That was her the first ever Scentsy bar. That for me is like, I want to try that. And I don't like banana. I don't really like bready fragrances, but I want it because it I think as a sellable bar, it's going to have that USP of it being the first ever bar. And
there's a wax that one of my customers, when I very first started, she said to me, I went to America when Scentsy first, I can't remember what it's called, but she absolutely raved about it, and I'm hoping when I see the name, I might remember, but she said that was amazing. I'll have to see if I can find it.
I love that. So also on the 11th to the 12th, the voting will open up for all ever eligible fragrances. So I'm really hoping that Shearwood's gets in there this time because it's driving me mad that it never goes in there. But that, for example, you're basically going to have 2 lots of Bring Back My Bar that you can vote for. Think strategically a little bit as well. When you come to voting for the Bring Back My Bar that are fragrances that you may know of, don't just think about what you want. Think about what you could sell, because that's how I look at it. Like Lemon Blossom Basil coming back this time round for me has been a brilliant thing because I've sold 12 bars of it since the beginning of the month. And that goes back to because Laura and I have been consultants since it came around the first time, but also it's got Jo Malone vibes and everybody wants that Jo Malone expensive fragrance. This was actually one of the fragrances that we said to Dan, why would you have not put this in the catalogue? It literally is a dupe for I don't think what it's called, Basil Neroli, isn't it?
Yeah, Neroli, yeah.
And he said, why didn't we not know this? And I was like, oh, we need to be feeding this sort of thing back to him more often. So these are things to, just consider. Think about strategically. Yes, if we want our favourites to come, I'd love Shearwood's to come back. To be fair, I could probably sell about 90 bars of sheerwoods because I've got customers that also really like those fragrances. But if, for example, I wanted strawberry lemon cake back, I don't because I really don't like that bar. But say I just thought of it because when I was clearing out all my wax yesterday, that was one I come across. If I really wanted it, but I knew that my customers wouldn't buy it, then I probably would selfishly or unselfishly have to be like, Lisa, put your wants aside. Let's think about what you could really, really sell to your customers. Have a think about that. Yeah, Cocoa Lime Claire. I've got a few bars of that. If you want one, I'll send you one. So that just some tips for you there.
And
Okay.
also, I said I need all the wood scents because 87% of my customers want a hot man smell without the man. Honestly, so true.
Like, is there?
No, there's not enough manly Shaka. Father's
You know
Day.
what though? I do think that the bars that have been out recently have had more amber and sandalwood in than any other bars that
Yeah.
So there's that undercurrents that come in. I do think that those notes are coming. I love Fit Enough to Get You Pregnant bar. Is that the name, Katrina? Is that what it should be called? Fit Enough to Get You
Fit Enough to Get You Pregnant.
I went live in my customer group and described this year's Father's Day collection as that, and I sold about 6 bundles off that lab. When I said this smells so fit, it could get me pregnant.
Brilliant. Well, it works.
Brilliant. The Father's Day collection, I can see some of those being in the next catalogue.
Yeah,
100%. Shocked if some of those, because the feedback for every single one of those bars was wow. I don't think there's been a bar. They're the ones that I think of where I think there's a lot of amber and a lot of sandalwood that was knocking about in those, which is pretty amazing. So, okay, so limited time offers. We've got August scent of the month, Honeycrisp Harvest. Has anyone received theirs yet? No, I don't think they've shipped yet, have they? Anytime now, I think they sort of ship, don't they? The July warmer of the quarter lavender bouquet. If you haven't seen the offer that you can do on those, which is basically like 5 warmers, you use half price and free credits to discount them by next month's price. So as in August price. Oh my God, is it really August next month? August price. Your customers could save £22 with this particular offer. I actually did it by putting a poll in my WhatsApp chat. I said I would need to have 5 yeses to make this work, and I'm at 4 at the moment. I'm contemplating being the 5th one, but I don't want to be the 5th wheel. Really, I want to sell them. If you can flog that many, I think it works out £75, those warmers are, so massive discount. It's an active order. So for those of you that are looking at trying to get active and you know that you've got customers that love that particular warmer, get the pictures out. The real life pictures of that warmer are sensational, honestly. Absolutely sensational.
And if you can't find them in the image sharing groups, go onto my personal profile because I shared them this afternoon.
Yeah, so pretty. And then we've got obviously the scent of the month, which is, I've got one here somewhere, lavender Provence. That's not it, it's that one. I have like lavender. Well, I don't do lavender, but I actually really like this bar. It's a little bit like lavender cotton, but stronger, and then more lavender that's going through it. It reminds me of being in France for my friend's wedding, and she had lavender in her bouquets. She had it, or like on the dinner invites, on the invites that went out in the post, and that literally, I'm going to send her a bar. Takes me back to her wedding. I'm going to put a bar in the post to her and send it to her and say, this smells like your wedding. So yes, that is available. The July with Bucks. Wow, what a banger that is. It's worth loads of money. Happy Birthday is the flower. I haven't, has anybody opened a flower and got it going yet and is like, yes, I love it? It smells so strong in the bar.
I will just say, literally, as we've been talking, one of my customers that I dropped off stage put, thank you for dropping my whip box, and put, very welcome, let me know what you think. She put, I absolutely loved everything in it. And that is the 3rd one that's come back, and they've all loved it.
Brilliant. Melissa said, I like the flower. It smells of cake. I think it does literally smell like birthday cake. So if you are a birthday cake fan, you will love that flower. It's a really good box. It's
so I've got one here because I was just talking to Katrina's team on that previous team. So you've got the happy birthday flower. I haven't opened my flower yet. In Zinnia Zen.
And they're really pretty as well, those flowers, aren't they?
Really pretty. Baked apple pie, Honeycrisp Harvest. This is next month's
oh,
scent of the month.
your nose in it.
I haven't put my nose in it yet. Let's have a little sniff.
Give us a whiff.
Oh, I actually don't hate that. Because what I mean is autumn, winter's like normally not my jam, but that is like really smells of like apple like like a harvest festival.
Oh, really? Has it got any spice in it?
No, it's not
Oh,
spicy.
good.
It's more like harvest
Apple
festival,
orchard.
fresh vibes, if that makes sense.
I'm all for that. I
Like
love
winter.
apple fragrances. I've loved every apple fragrance that we've done. I love until
Yeah.
they put cinnamon in them.
Yeah, no cinnamon, no spice in that. So that's really nice. Welcome home. And Claim Breeze, your fave. And there were 2 scent circles in there. There's black raspberry vanilla, which is here.
Lemongrass, I think, is it?
And coconut lemongrass, which I gave to my customer today. But yeah, so you got 2 scent circles as well. So it's a really, really good whiff box. And like I said, every person that's on Whiff Box Club has given amazing feedback. So don't, how can I put this? Don't, I get a bit like Lisa said, don't let your own ideas about scents think, oh, I'm not going to share that because it's a lot of bakery. Because every customer's loved it so far.
It's also a lot of the, apart from like the home, welcome home and the flower, a lot of the bestsellers in there. So, you know, they've mixed up the bestsellers with, you know, the theme of celebrating birthdays. You can really go down that jazz. If there are some of you that maybe split the whiff boxes because your customers won't quite part with the full whiff box amount, you've got that option there to, you know, go like fresh and not so fresh, you know, mixing it up, or celebration sort of ideas.
Melissa's put smells like an orchard. It does. My customer actually asked if the happy birthday came in a wax, and I was like, I will tell you if it ever comes back.
It used to, yeah, didn't it? We've had it before.
Yeah.
Okay, so that is that. And then we've obviously got Bring Back My Bar still running. Scent Squad, if you've not forgotten, I am still doing Who Sells the Most, Bring Back My Bars.
Language Sparkle, I shared that as well.
Yeah, do not forget to put that on the thread, because otherwise I won't know what you've sold. I physically can't see what you've sold. So I need you to go and update that thread, remind me with how many you've sold. And then the Cheers to 20 Years giveaway, which you guys, oh no, we've had that already. The 1 free scent circle. Sorry, I was thinking about the incentive. Was the free scent circle. So that was at the beginning of the month. How many of you managed to get PWS orders with the option of a free scent circle going out to your customers? Laura's got a knife.
Oh, sorry, Melissa. That's it. I've had enough. Melissa said I want to smell the flower, so I'm going to open it.
Oh, okay. Yes, good. Well done, Sarah. Well done, Cheryl. Amazing. One is better than none, right? One is better than none, because you can start to gauge that if it's a free scent circle that will make people shop on your website, you can advertise that privately. And you can do your own, like, you know, grab a free scent circle with every order. I have a drawer. I don't know which drawer it's in because I've moved my office around. So in one of my drawers, oh here, I have literally an abundance of scent circles, and they are what people get when they shop on my website. They literally get a free scent circle that with their first order on my website. I used Caroline's idea to contact club customers to spend their points and got 3. Amazing, 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 amazing. I sold Remy, and my customers added the wax bar to his club, and he said he'd smelt it. Well, let's
different strokes for different folks and all that.
Yeah, I love that saying. So true. Okay, so the last thing on the 22nd of July is Gaudy Goodness Wax Collection, early access. What is that?
Is it a gnome?
I don't know, it just says Gaudy Goodness Wax Collection. Is it gnome? Maybe it is. No idea, Katrina. I'm assuming we're going to find out at SFR.
Maybe they've just put that on there, but they haven't actually told us, because I think it's from the
Smurfs. It's the genie and the Smurfs. Oh,
yeah.
Maybe we're getting Smurfs. Okay, and then we've also got the Cheers to 20 Years incentive, which I know you guys are buzzing about. Sell 3 products from a super secret limited time offer coming soon, and we will find out at SFR what that is going to be.
In Orlando, by the way.
Yeah, we're just in Orlando, in case you didn't know. We're going to Orlando. And then we've got Global Leadership and Global Scentsy Family Reunion from the 15th to 19th of July. So Laura and I will be out of the country from the 14th to the 20th. 21st, is it? 20th,
Yeah.
21st, off the top of my head, it's Sunday to Sunday. So
Yeah.
anybody that would like to be SSD for the day in Scent Squad or Glitter Sparkle, if you are not going to
we're going to be
Scent
asking
Family
that
Reunion,
question.
can you inbox us and let us know, because we would love to allocate you a day. And yes, we're going, Katrina, in case you didn't know. But we would love to allocate you a day in our groups, and it just means taking over the group, doing a few posts, maybe going live if you're feeling up to it. Just some fun. Okay, so nothing too strenuous. And then we also have a join promotion, which I do have a box somewhere behind me, which has got my fake join kit in it. And I will just add, I went live with this join kit on the 1st of July on my Instagram, and no one commented on it for the first few days. And then Tina, who I see is on here, she's waving at us all, see my live pop up about 4 days later, and she reinstated her Scentsy account. So, and I know that she's going to get someone's kidnapped so she can grab that kit. So if you are not doing these things and showing, that was just my version of the kit. I went around my office, grabbed 5 wax bars, grabbed a mini warmer, and I just went live on my Instagram and all my other platforms. There you go. Sarah did the same, and she got a teamie from that. So it works. These are things that work. And we have that amazing £24 join kit. So if you're not using it, guys, use it. It's literally a borrow bag in a join kit ready to go. Literally, it's a borrow bag. It's literally the best thing ever.
Definitely. And it doesn't, if you haven't got that mini warmer, don't think I can't do this.
I didn't have that mini warmer. No.
You can just literally obviously show like a mini warmer, and then you can let them know which one they're going to get. Don't think, oh, I can't do it because I haven't got that. Or if you really haven't got all the stuff, get a picture of it up on your website behind you on your laptop or your hubby's iPad or your kid's phone, whatever you've got, and get on your own phone and talk about it. Like, there's 1,000,001 ways to do this. You don't need to have absolutely everything.
You don't.
To be able to do
Honestly,
it.
the red bar that was Simply Black Cherry was actually Winterberry Apple Tea, and I was like, Jesus, all I could smell was Winterberry Apple Tea, and I'm going, and Simply Black Cherry, and it wasn't, none of the bars. I think I had one of them out of the 5. They were just all the right color. I was like, that'll do. So you make it up, guys. It works. Okay, so
yes, this smells like a cough sweet, but nice. Like, you know, that's going to be like, I like it.
Well, does it smell like birthday cake?
No. I know I've smelled it before, but yeah, that's really nice.
Oh, I'm looking forward to cracking one open now. If it doesn't smell like birthday cake, I'll be raving about it even more. Only because a lot of I haven't got many bakery customers.
It's not fresh, Katrina, though. I don't know what your customer was talking about.
Isn't it funny how though everybody's nose is so different? And like I might smell Luna like something completely different to what you might, for example. So there we go. Right, guys. So the next part of what we want to talk about tonight is about networking. And I wanted to ask you a couple of questions, and I don't know if I can remember all the questions that I voice noted you with like some ideas, didn't I, Laura, this morning?
I tell you what I'll do is I'll mute myself and I'll listen to it and I'll write them all down. But I do know
2 questions I think I have. But one of them was how many new customers?
Yes.
I want you to put in the chat, how many new customers have you had this month? So since the beginning of July, how many new customers have you had? Because we're going to talk about networking, and we're going to talk about finding new customers, and we're going to talk about you know, the customers being, and this is really a bit of prep for me as well, because I'm going to be talking about this at SFR, and I'm warming up Jennifer Anderson, which is a little bit frightening, I'm not going to lie.
Yeah, and I'm warming up Chloe and Justin Cox. You know, no pressure for us too.
Completely different like genres. I love that though. Amazing. So Claire's had 3, Katie's had 4, Kelly's had 3, 3, 1, 0. See some zeros. That's okay. But we're gonna change this around. Okay, so for those of you that have had new customers, amazing. It means that you've got your blinkers on, you're looking for people. And let me tell you right now, there are people more than ever right now looking for consultants, because so many people have left Scentsy. And I know that's not a negative in my opinion. We have to think of it like a business, and when people do decide to leave, that's okay, but we need to give their customers someone to buy from, because we're still here, we're still, you know, walking the walk, talking the talk. Now I will just say your business will literally cannot run without customers. We think about it this way, if you want to hit 200 PRV, so you get active, or leadership PRV, your 500, you need customers to do that. And you're not going to do that with the same 5, 10, or 15 customers every single month. It's just not going to happen, because some months Susie down the road is not going to buy from you because, you know, she can't afford it this month. You know, she's had a gas bill that's come out that was £100 dearer than she was expecting. So Scentsy, unfortunately, is the luxury that's got to go, you know, or her kid's going on a school trip. So, you know, Emma down the road's not going to buy because £80 just gone out of her bank for the ski trip that she had forgotten all about. You know, these things happen. This is real life. And unfortunately, we end up being the backseat. So for that to not impact your business, you need that constant stream of new customers to be coming in. To get your 500, if you want to get paid on your team, you need the same constant stream of new customers coming in. And for those of you that are maybe struggling, and be honest in the chat, those of you that want that next promotion, but you find at the moment that you're asking people to join, but they're just not saying yes, no one's biting, comment, give me a yes if that's you in the chat. Or maybe you feel like you've asked everybody and there's no one else to ask. If that's you, put a yes in the chat, because if that's the case, again, you need new customers. So realistically, your network has got to be growing. We are in a network marketing business. We've got to be networking at all times. And I think this is something that Laura is naturally gifted at. This is something that I think I have to work very hard at, or a little bit harder at. But look, you are naturally, Laura, you will speak to anybody and anywhere about Scentsy. It just does not phase you to just blurt it out and say, we're Scentsy consultants. It doesn't.
No, it doesn't. You're right. But what I meant is you are very good at it as that's what I meant.
We just have we have very different styles, probably. And we probably network in very different ways. Laura probably more so, I would say, actually in person, she's very, very good at it. Me, probably more behind the scenes, and I'm doing stuff probably a little bit more on social media, but in inboxes. Mine's happening like behind the scenes a little bit.
But this is also a really good example, guys, of why there is no like typical Scentsy consultant, because Lisa teaches me so much about Instagram. I am still such an Instagram novice and I'm learning. But that's what I mean. Lisa's learning and then she's teaching me. So what I mean is, it doesn't matter how long you've been in, how much experience you've got, there is always still so much more to learn, because the world is evolving and changing and there's new ways to network. And it doesn't mean the old ways don't work. It just means there's new ways to add to it as well. So it's just brilliant because you've got so much more scope to meet new people.
Yeah, we'll add on that as well. Like, just because I might be trying something new does not mean that I stop doing the old things. I will always, you know, be talking to people, posting on social media, looking for, I'm constantly in my head, definitely more so in my head lately. And I need to, once SFR's done, August is my month to go big or go home. I'm thinking, well, actually, I could be giving out samples wherever I go right now. I could be talking to people about this. I could be setting up. There's always something, there's always a way. But for any point in your business, when you become stuck, the answer is to go back and look at customers, because 100, it's like a circle. Our business works on a circle. And the minute that piece is missing and you haven't got, so I could have an influx of, say, I get 13 new customers today, for example, which would be amazing. Doesn't happen, let's be honest. But if I got 30 new customers today, and then I sat back on my laurels for the next 6 months and was like, I had 30 new customers, or I had an event, I had 30 new customers. I don't now need to network for 6 months. It doesn't work like that.
No.
Unfortunately, you've got to have those blinkers on every single month to be growing, which is why I ask you the next question. What's your goal? How many customers do you want each month? Like, I set myself a challenge for 10. Laura, do you have a number, or are you a bit more like?
Yeah, I always say like 5 to 10 each month. Like 5 to 10 each month, 2 new teamies.
Yeah.
5 to 10 new customers, 2 new teamies.
Yeah, because 10 new customers a month is 120 new customers a year, right? Two new teamies a month is 12 new customers, 12 new teamies a year. And like the magic number that we're aiming for a director, for example, is around that 30 number. So any of you that are really looking to grow, if your customer base grows by 120, potentially 10 of them will join. At least 1 in 10 will probably join. They will.
Oh, yeah, I was just going to say as well, if you aim for 10 and you get 5, or are you in for, like, sorry, and then with teams, if you aim for 2 and you get 1, what's that thing, like, shoot for the moon and
Shoot
if
for
you
the moon and land in the stars.
That's it,
I
yeah.
love that saying.
But it's so true, like, you've got to, like, aim big. And I just want to say, like, when it comes to networking in person, I think the reason, because I've never had a problem with talking to people, but what I mean is I think the reason that now I just do it so naturally, and I want you all to know that this still does happen to, like, Lisa and I. For example, in the gym, like, we still, like, people kind of take the mickey out of us a little bit about going, oh, do you sell Scentsy? Like, you haven't mentioned. But we go, yeah, I do. Pays my mortgage, thanks. You've just got to be really proud to be a Scentsy consultant. And, like, that is something that I understand, that confidence will come with competence, like, or whichever way around it is. Like, the more that you do it, like, it's like a muscle, the more you work on it, it grows. But you've got to be really proud to be a Scentsy consultant and what you're talking about. And understand, people might go like, oh, they're candles. You go, no, actually, they're better than candles. I can tell you. I know Katrina's got a story about a guy at work that, correct me if I'm wrong, my love, but, like, he took the mickey out of you and then apologized and then now buys from you. So, like, you've just got to really, really stand proud about what you're sharing.
100%. And it's a mindset thing. It's a massive, massive mindset shift in terms of, like, building your confidence. And as Laura said, the more you do something, the easier it becomes. And it just gets to that point where you start to think, actually, you know, it becomes a natural thing to be networking and speaking to people all the time. Or if you're not, and this probably is going to be the hardest thing. Some of you probably, and this was the other question I was going to ask, don't see a lot of people, or maybe you do, or maybe you don't realize that you do. So in the chat for me, I just want you to take a minute to just think about, or you don't even have to put it in the chat if you don't want to. You could just come up with a number. For 2 minutes, I want you to think about how many people have you seen today? How many adults that have got money have you seen today in your work, or a nose, in your working day today? So between, like, actually you leaving the house, you know, when you went to the school run, did you stand with 5 mums? There's 5 people, okay? Then you went and got in your car, maybe you then stopped at the Texaco garage to get petrol. The lady at the counter, 6. You get where I'm going with this. As you then get in your car, you maybe drove into work, you might have gone into the office, you might have seen 5 more people, or you might not have. You might have drove home. And if you are somebody that actually, I've gone to the school, I've spoke to no one, and I've come back home, or I've gone to work at my office in my house and I've seen no one, then you're probably going to resonate with what I'm going to say. But maybe those of you that have seen 20 people today, you're going to resonate probably with what Laura's going to say. So we've got 2 very different angles that we're going to go. And some of you, look, 10, 15 people. Now, I want you to think about how many people out of those people that you've seen, how many of them are buying regular customers, or have had new samples, or have smelt Scentsy in the last 2 to 3 months. How many of them have had a borrow bag from you? How many of them have you asked to party? And when you start to think about all of those questions, I bet that number is a lot smaller. You might be like, okay, only 4 out of 20 have I asked to do all of those things, or maybe none out of 20 have I asked to do all of those things. And this is where you've got to start thinking about who you're seeing on a daily basis, or who you're not seeing on a daily basis. But then what can we do about that?
And this is a really good point of when you're talking to people about joining, or maybe even yourself, like when you first started, like, people say, like, I haven't got the time to be a Scentsy consultant, right? Think about it this way. If you are going out of your house to a place of work where you are seeing human beings, I don't want to, how can I put this? I'm not saying it's easier for you because you're seeing people, but Lisa and I work from home now. So we have to actively go and network, like, make sure we are intentionally networking with people. So actually, it's not suddenly having all this free time to do Scentsy. Busy people are better at this business. If you are, I don't know, let me just say, if you're a hairdresser, a nail technician, if you are working somewhere where you are sitting talking to people every single day, you are literally born to be a Scentsy consultant, because you're literally talking to people. So
it actually goes a step back, doesn't it? It goes to actually being organized for when you see those people.
Yeah. Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah. Because so many times I've been out and I'm like, damn it, why didn't I have a sample pack or a business card? Or obviously we've now got those digital ones on our phone. But yeah, exactly. So there's no easier or not easier for anybody, but there's ways of working it for whether you're at home, not at home, you know.
For every single person.
Everyone.
And I feel like we get into this mindset of like, no one wants to buy. Everyone I know is already buying Scentsy. But when you think about it like that, tomorrow is going to be a completely new day. So if you write down at the end of tomorrow all the people that you've seen tomorrow, as you go throughout your day, across 2 days, you might have seen 30 people. And out of those 30 people that you've seen, you might have only 5 of them maybe buy Scentsy from you. Now, obviously, some of those people are going to be flat, hard nosed that are like, no, I'm really sorry, I'm not interested. You know, your neighbor, she might be a flat, hard no. And I said this, Tina and I spoke about this today. Some people will be flat, hard nosed today, but in 2 years' time, they might be joining your team. In 2 years' time, they might be your biggest buyer because suddenly they've stuck their nose in Welcome Home or Happy Birthday or Lavender Province, and you change their life with that one wax bar. You just never know. You know, you just never know. So you've really got to think about, who are you seeing every day? Because, and I know some of you have put, I'm not seeing anybody. I have a very, but then your business is going to look very different, and it's either up to you to do 2 things. One is get out and go and make yourself see people. You know, whether that's walking out in the park, giving out samples as you go, you know, going into your local town, giving out samples to people, going into your local hairdressers, networking with them in there. If you're saying, I do not see anybody, I literally go to work and I come home, I don't have a school run, I don't have pets, I don't do this, I don't do that. It's up to you to go and find the people. Okay, that's your job, is to go and find the people. Cheryl, if I live near you, I would be having a field day, because I think your area is, I've always said it, is untapped for Scentsy. I think London Way, Romford Way,
oh my God, so untapped.
Kent Way. I just think everybody that I've ever had as a customer that's been from there has been like, I've never heard of this ever. So yeah. You've got to really get out and speak to people. Or if you're not an outdoors person, I'm going to hopefully give you some tips. So something I'll go into just some things that I've been doing on social media recently, and it's just trying some new things. Okay, I know my team, we've been doing some Instagram training. I know I've been a bit off the ball the last 2 days, but let me just give you my excuses. I had Ellis's prom today, and before today, we've been to Chelmsford College for maths and English exams. I've seen a lot of people today whilst I was having my nails done. Come home, that was a late night. It's his birthday, it's his 16th birthday tomorrow, and I haven't even bought a card. After this, I'm going to the shop to go and buy cards and wrapping paper because I'm that mum. But he's at his prom at the minute, so he's going to be like thoroughly enjoying himself. But that's so I've dropped the ball a little bit at the moment. But in terms of using social media, it's finding new ways where you can actually start to network via inbox. Now, I am one of these people that hates cold messaging. I'm not someone that's ever going to dive into someone's inbox and be like, hey, Anne, do you want to just join Scentsy? It's not going to happen. There has to be some kind of relationship. For example, I know Tina, I've mentioned you twice, but Tina's followed me for a little while and been following what I've been doing, but never once have I dived into her inbox to say, oh, you know, do you fancy joining Scentsy? Like that's just not happened, because that's not how I operate. Okay, it's just not how I do things, and I am not here for the cold message. However, what I have started doing is, for example, doing more reels on Instagram and doing a little bit of trying to find out how it all works to a niche. It's not easy, but I'm also doing Scentsy reels entwined within that. And I also am using Instagram to put more stories on. Now, every time somebody likes one of my reels, and some of you might be like, oh, you've done this to me because I've not realized that you was a consultant. For example, if somebody likes one of my reels or comments on one of my reels and I don't know who they are, I go and look at their profile. If their profile's locked down, I still send them the message. And if their profile is open, I go and do the same to them, like a few of their posts, comment on a few of their posts, and then I inbox them very simply to say, hey, hon, thank you so much for liking my reel. I really appreciate you. Generally speaking, that generates a conversation of, oh, you're really welcome. We then start to converse. I love your profile. Those jeans that you were wearing, where did you get them from? Ask them a question. Now we're having a conversation. It becomes more natural to say, by the way, I'm a Scentsy consultant. have you ever tried it before? If you haven't, I've got some free samples. I'd love to send you some. And I sent out, I think, 15 sample packs last month just from doing this. Now, my reels are not all getting 90,000 comments. I haven't got 10,000 followers on Instagram. None of that. It's just about the networking, okay? You're building relationships. I'm looking for people in my network. So Laura will tell you I keep banging on about this, but I was like, I'm looking for people in my niche, my mum niche that are aged 35 to 45, and I'm going to go and find them and I'm going to network with them. And that's really as simple as liking, commenting on their reels, you know, following a few people that I think are relevant to me and liking and commenting. They like and comment back. You thank them for their interaction. It's a really simple process, and it's not, all you're doing is thanking them. And some people never message you back. Okay, some people just ignore your message. Some people will heart your message, and they will come round. And some people will say, "Oh my God, like, thank you so much. How lovely is that? Like, I really appreciate you being thankful." 2 ladies at the moment I built quite good relationships with, and every time I put a reel on, they like on and they comment on it, and it's starting to build up a network. Okay, these are people. Now, if you don't know how to do this, little tip. I learned this watching a training the other week. On Instagram, find someone you like. So I'm just going to show you Laura's profile because I like her.
Good job, really. You stuck with me, I'm afraid.
So if I find, I'm just turning the sound down, Laura's reel today, without getting in her car, there she is. There's our little Laura. There's a little flag down here. I don't know if you can see that because the light is reflecting on here. There's a little flag that looks like a little W, right? That's the save button. When you press save that reel, it will say that it's saved in private. I don't know if you can see that because it's not very clear. And then it will give you an option to add to collections. Now, I've got collections that are called June leads, or this will be July, and you can add them to like a little album. Okay, so I'm going to add Laura into my June leads. If I then go in and look at my June leads, you click on the little handbag at the top. You're going to go into saved. When you click on that, you can see they save in little albums. So I've got on here accounts which inspire me, June leads, mum reels, funny reels that I like, and I save them in different places. Now, my June leads, when I click on them, they're all the accounts that I want to network with. They're the accounts that I want to network with regularly to build relationships with, because I think they would make really good Scentsy consultants, but I don't want to be spammy pammy. When they see me regularly interacting with them, it's building a relationship. Now, you're probably thinking, oh my God, Lisa, you've just blown my mind. But 10 minutes a day, that's all it takes. 10 minutes when I sit down to watch Love Island, I will go into that little folder and I will go and like and I will go and comment on the same accounts, reels every day. Okay? If you know which training this was. Yeah, it's from another network marketing company. I don't mind sharing it, but it is from another network marketing company because I've started to outsource some training to see what else is out there. And it actually is tips from like Eric Worre, I think, did quite a lot of Instagram training. And this was just a tip that I picked up. But I thought it was really clever. I thought it was a really great way to make me think, do you know what? This is brilliant. It's clever network. It's really clever networking. And they're all in my niche. They're all like mums around a similar age to me that are into like clothes or into Diet Coke or into all the same things that I'm into. They're easy to network with. And what's happening now, when they start to like a reel, I've had a few new followers today. I've lost about 6 followers today, but that's okay because I'm talking to a new audience. They're not interested, so that's fine. But when people are now following me, I send them a message straight away. Thank them for following you. Ask them how they found you, or thank them for following you. Ask them, ask them a question. Don't ask them Scentsy straight away. Get building a relationship with them.
Sorry, can I just think, because I don't feel like I'm going to have a lot to add onto this, but something that's just popped into my brain while you were talking about this, and how the lovely Claudia, I don't think she's on, but how she ended up joining, and we talked about this the other day. So this isn't as detailed as what Lisa was just doing, but when we talk about sharing like your you authentically who you are, and not just sharing Scentsy all the time. You've got to share what you love and share what, you know, share what your passions are. I am a naturally positive person. I always have been, even before I did this as a business. Some stuff will come up in my memories from like 8 years ago, and I was sharing the same kind of content, like, you know, positive quotes and about mindset and all that kind of stuff. And somebody that I've known since Ella was a baby, I was her daughter and Ella were in antenatal together. So I have known her for a lot of years, but nothing to do with Scentsy. She was just somebody that I knew from my area. She had followed me on Instagram. I'd like been liking loads of my stuff. And then about a month ago, probably 6 weeks ago now, she messaged me and said, like, I just want to say, like, thank you for sharing the content you do. I'm sure she won't mind me saying, basically, she's like had her children, stopped working, lost herself a little bit. And she was like, I just miss like being me. And obviously I didn't go straight in with, you need to join Scentsy because it's like the best thing ever. We conversed for a little bit. I asked how she was, you know, we chatted. And then I did drop in and I was like, do you know why I'm the way I am now? I said, it's because of Scentsy. It's because of the community that I have around me. Because she basically said, like, how do you keep that mindset? And I said, it's the personal growth through my business. I was like, it's definitely something that you should think about. And she ended up joining. She's started doing eyelashes again, and she ended up joining, and she's absolutely loving it. And we met for a coffee a couple of weeks ago. But again, that came because I was sharing authentically who I am, but that has come through being a Scentsy consultant. But I didn't go in with the, oh, you should just join Scentsy because it's a really positive place. She messaged me, I conversed, I asked her how she was, and these messages went on for a couple of weeks before I said to her, do you know what, you should just join Scentsy because that's, you know, that's why that's what's helped with this. So it's about sharing real life stuff, not just going in with the hard sell.
Hard sell. Also, guys, if that's some of you are thinking, well, actually, I don't feel comfortable on Instagram, that's absolutely fine. You can do this same method, but using Facebook. For those of you that are not getting out very much, use Facebook groups that are relevant to you. Like I've said before to people, you might be like in an ADHD children's group, or you might be in a cooking group, because for people that absolutely love, you know, roasting or using their air fryer or whatever. And you can build up relationships with people in these groups and then take it to inbox but it's about being intentional with the time to do it, because sometimes it's a long game. It's not going to be instant gratification. Social media is not instant gratification. We're not influencers that have got thousands of followers that will just go, yeah, I'll just buy that because you put that up straight away. If we were all those people, we wouldn't even need to do training like this to talk about networking, because, you know, it would be a very different story. We have to do the hard work to be able to get the sale. So be prepared to set some time aside. You know, we all set time aside for a power hour, following up with our customers, doing all of these things, but actually set some time aside for actual networking on social media, and you will see an increase in people that you meet through social media. You've just got to be prepared to put the work in. It's not easy, and it will work differently for every single one of you. But if you're not seeing a lot of people, try this method. Go on, Laura, over to you.
Definitely. Okay, well, I'm going to talk about real life human beings in the real world. Not that, oh God, I shouldn't say that. Sorry, let's just rewind. I'm not suggesting social media isn't the real world. They are real people behind those phone screens and laptops, but I'm talking about actually going out into the world and being proud of being a Scentsy consultant. And actually, when Lisa sent me that message this morning, it doesn't matter how long you've been in, I need you all to know we all have days where I think, oh, why didn't I talk to that person? Or why didn't I share? Like, we all do it. It's easy to fall into the trap of, like, you know, like Lisa just said, I will talk to anyone anywhere about Scentsy, but it is also easy to just get into your day and then get back and think, oh, I haven't talked to anybody today. So sometimes you do have to get up and be intentional about it and think, right, okay, I am going to, I think it was, oh my goodness, what's his name? There was a lovely, I think he was in France. There was a guy that shared on the All Consultant Zoom a couple of months ago. And he said he would go out with like 5 buttons or coins in one of his pockets. But that's it, Emma, London. He goes out with 5 coins or 5 buttons in one of his pockets, and he doesn't come back until when he speaks to somebody about Scentsy, he puts them in the other pocket. And it's just such a great way to think about it. So you can say to yourself, right, I'm going to speak to 10 new people about Scentsy today, or 5 new people about Scentsy, and make it your mission when you go about your day to talk to people about what you do. Now, that can be in so many ways, like so many ways. I write on my to-do list every day. I've put a new person means I have to speak to a new person. That's 7 a week. Absolutely. Putting it on your to-do list. This is where we talk about being intentional. Like Lisa just said, blocking out some time to do that, put some time in your brain to do this. And there's 1,000,001 ways you can do this. So going out and being prepared with sample packs is a good thing. Now, a sample pack doesn't have to be an all singing. Sorry, I've just got a little frog in my throat that wasn't going anywhere. A sample pack doesn't have to be all singing on all dancing. Do you know what is absolute genius in our business? These little things. Honestly, these scratch and sniff cards are genius. You can literally make up like tiny little ones. I've got I literally made up a template the other day because Harry and actually when I shared this idea in my group, loads of people were like, yeah, I already do that. A bit like that's old news, Laura. But Harry sold a t-shirt on Vinted and I posted it. So I just literally made up a little card. I got 3 different scratch and sniff cards and said, thank you for your order. I can't remember what I said. Like, I'm a Scentsy consultant, basically. This is my QR code. These are scratch and sniff. If you've got any questions, these are my details. But you can do that. You can make these up. Even if you had one little scratch and sniff sticker with your contact details on there and took them out on your day with you. And just think when you're interacting with somebody in the supermarket, when you're in the post office, when you're in the playground, for example, go up and say, can I give you this? People are not going to say no to something that's free and that smells nice. You're not giving, you're not trying to sell your soul, and you're not asking them to do anything. You're literally giving them a free gift. And I do remember doing this in the playground when Finley first started at this primary school. I've got my mini ones now and got in my Etsy sales. Love it. And I will say, one mum did say to me, I don't want one, thank you. And I was like, that is okay. And then Finley's birthday party came around and I did sample packs there as well. That's another thing I'll talk about in a minute. And she's now ordered from me. So if somebody says no the first time, it doesn't mean no forever. Again, it's just about standing proud in what you do. So having samples and having something to hand out with you at all times is something we should all do. Have some kind of Scentsy in your bag, in your purse, on you at all times. Has anyone got a template they can share for the sniff sample packs? Yeah, I'm sure. I'll be honest, I've got a few that I've made up over the time, but yeah, definitely we can share a template. That's not a problem. They're fabricated abroad to the beach pack. Summers don't melt. Gave these out as the last couple of holidays. Got a team with both times from that, and I met abroad. Exactly. Opportunity is everywhere. Another good thing that was quite lucrative for me, and you might have heard me talk about this before, but it has still, he's actually just recently ordered again, so it's carried on going. Obviously, like Lisa said, when you build up all your free credits, it's lovely if you've got that warmer that you want to get. But we have these host rewards to utilize into our business. So I always have scent circles, loads and loads of scent circles, just so, like I said, I can obviously give them out for website orders, but I can have them for networking. They've always got my contact details on, always got a sticker on. Something else I have done previously, which has turned into business for me, is I've had hand soaps, hand creams, and gone into like local cafes. So there's just one that was in Lincolnshire when we lived up there for a year. I went in, this new cafe was opening. I love a coffee. So I went in and bought a coffee. And I said to him, look, is there any chance I can put these in your toilet? Obviously, I remember saying to him, not saying your toilet smell, but I actually gave him a fragrance flower as well because I had some in stock. None of this cost me anything. You don't have to do a fragrance flower. But I put a hand soap and a hand cream in the toilet and said, like, can I please gift these to you? I'll put them in the toilets with my business card, with my details on there. And he was like, yeah, that's fine, not a problem. He then continuously bought those products from me and still does. And I moved back here nearly a year ago and he still orders those from me once every couple of months. And I send them up there. So, and he has ordered on my website once. Another one, which was really good. He hasn't actually ordered from a couple of months and he now lives around the corner. So I might actually go and knock on his door, is there's a guy that doesn't at the moment, but used to come and wash our car on our drive. And I gifted him a scent circle to say thank you. In all seriousness, if I'm going to thank someone for something, I will give them a scent circle with my details on it because it's really easy. It obviously really simple. Your contact details on there, they're easy to hand out. That gentleman ended up, for about 6 to 8 months, he ended up ordering 60 scent circles from me to hand out in his business. When I gave him that scent circle to say thank you for washing my car, I genuinely wasn't going into it thinking, oh, he's going to order scent circles to put in his car. I was giving it to thank him. He then ordered some products for his wife, and then he actually messaged me and said, right, actually, if I can give these out when I wash my cars, I need to go and see him and tell him that I'm back. But again, it's just an amazing opportunity. Anytime you are having a conversation or you are conversing with somebody, make sure you are telling them about Scentsy. If you meet a new person, I feel like this has gone very all over the place, but I almost get like a little bit too overexcited, and I need to like slow down a little bit, because there is literally opportunity everywhere. Like everywhere you go, there is opportunity. And I just sometimes feel like I want to walk down the street and say, you need Scentsy, you need Scentsy, you need Scentsy. But basically, anytime you are talking to somebody, they need to know that you're a Scentsy consultant. What is a really good tip is, if you are meeting somebody for the first time and you're having a conversation with them, ask them what they do for a living. Because it is just polite and natural that they are going to ask you what you do for a living. And if you have another job, don't tell them about that job. Tell them that you're a Scentsy consultant, because, or, I mean, you know, you might want to tell them that you're a nurse or a vet or whatever you do, but also tell them that you're a Scentsy consultant, because it's a really amazing opportunity. And I guarantee, maybe not every person, but there are still going to be people after all this time that will go, oh, what's that? I've never heard of that. Because everyone thinks, like Lisa said earlier, everybody thinks that everybody buys Scentsy and everybody's got a Scentsy consultant. Honestly, you couldn't be more wrong. We have literally not even scratched the surface in this region, I feel. I feel like we are so tiny compared to Region 1.
Laura and I both have this same thought. I know we do. When we've been out together, like in Lakeside, or we're driving somewhere, I know that I've turned around and said this to her, and I know she's said the same to me. And I go to her, does it ever cross your mind that like you're walking through Lakeside and we're looking at all these people and you're thinking, how many of these people buy Scentsy? I bet there's not very many. How many of these people could we talk to about Scentsy? And she's like, yes,
I do.
We need to talk to them all about Scentsy.
I literally do. And if you think about
thought.
Literally think about it, and that's a really good analogy, Lise, actually. If you think about it in those terms, and if you are somebody that maybe doesn't go out that much, or you do go on the school run, or like, where have I been today? I've been to the school run, I've been out and done some deliveries, been to the supermarket. Like, I haven't, I've seen a few people. But if you think about it in terms of, put yourself in Lakeside Shopping Centre, or Bluewater, or the middle of London, or the middle of Manchester, or Leeds, or wherever, like a big city. Think about how many people are around you just in one of those big cities, okay? Not every one of those people has got Scentsy. And then there's another big city and another big city. Like, there are literally billions of people in the world, and billions. Good example was when Harry was in hospital, all the nurses knew about Scentsy. And I do actually, in fact, I'm going to do a fundraiser. That is another thing that I need to like put out my brain after SFR. But not all of them knew about Scentsy when I went in. Not all of them knew what it was. And actually, that's a massive opportunity for me. But what I mean is, like, loads of groups, loads of women in there. Probably one or two had heard of it. Not all of them had heard of it. So honestly, you need to get out of your brain, everybody's got a Scentsy consultant. Be proud of what you do, and make sure that you are telling people what you do. And at any given opportunity, get a smell under their nose. If you're going to the post office, even if you're not posting Scentsy, put a sticker on it, because it will smell when you're handing it over the counter. I feel like I've not given you enough good examples of what I've done. And
I think you've given loads, Laura, but it's about as well, guys. And this is probably like the other thing that really like gets my goat. I was talking about this.
I remembered one more. Sorry, go on.
I was thinking about this with my sister-in-law the other day, and it's not necessarily about what we're doing that's going to work for you guys. You guys have got to think outside the box. You've got to get creative. And this isn't about like plucking something out of thin air that's completely different. You want to get into other people's networks. And the way that's going to happen is referrals, asking people. Like, I know that I don't know anybody that lives in, well, I do. I know someone that lives in Manchester, for example. And I'm now thinking, could she have a party for me? Or she might have friends that could buy from me. How could I get her friends that are local to her? And it's about being a little bit out of the box. If Facebook parties aren't working, home parties aren't working, what else could you do? Could you go to salons? Could you go to gyms? Ask if you can have a table at a gym? Could you, go to someone's office block and deliver samples to their office block? You know, are you getting out, or are you very much sticking to the very basics that we did 5 or 6 years ago, because that's how you've been trained, that okay, there's a borrow bag and a home party. Oh, people don't want a borrow bag. Oh, people don't want a home party. No one wants to take a sample pack. Oh, I can't do this no more. Like, I look at what other network marketing companies are doing, and I'm like, how can we get creative with what we've got? I'm not looking at what's shiny and new anywhere else, because it's hard. I'm looking at, how can I do this differently? How can I make this fit me? How can I grow my network? How can I find those pockets of people? Do I need to travel to Manchester and go and give out samples in Manchester for the day? Probably yes. And am I willing to do that? Actually, yes. You know, like, if I can find the time in my day to block out 2 days to go and network in a gym, or to go and network somewhere else, it's actually about what are you prepared to do to make your business work. Like, and I know that sometimes this is like, we're just doing, you know, let's make it fit in. Yes, it is about it fitting in, but if you really, really want to make it work, sometimes you've got to go the extra mile. So that's, get a bit creative.
That's literally, it's really weird that you said that, because that's what came to my brain, is that when I did the table in the gym in Spalding, that day I didn't sell anything. I literally sold 1 fragrance flower. But again, I networked, I talked to a lot of people, and some of those people, even now, when I moved back to Essex, they still buy from me. They either order my website, and I literally stood in the gym for 6 hours, so 1 fragrance flower. Some people could have come home and gone, that wasn't a success, but it actually was, because I networked and I talked to a lot of people. I also had a table in a tractor rally. You wouldn't think in like a field with loads of tractors around me, I would sell much Scentsy. But I did. But again, I had conversations with people. So never assume. There was one other one I was trying to think of. Oh, the thing that I did in the like retirement home. Again, you could think, oh, well, you know, I might not sell a lot. I did actually sell quite a bit that day, and it was more of a party, but you could go along and just have a table and be networking. Anywhere that you are in front of human beings, never assume that you think you know who's going to buy Scentsy. Scentsy is literally for everybody, because even if it's somebody that's like a little bit older, that maybe I thought that day, again, that's on me. People are buying for their daughters, their granddaughters, you know, themselves. Absolutely, never assume. Emma, can you unmute yourself and tell us about was it the builder, or what happened the other week when you dropped something off and there was was it a builder that was there?
Yeah, it was my customer. My customer's got a fragrance flower in her bathroom, clothesline, obs. And the builder was like going mental for it. It was like, oh my God, where did you get this from? So she obviously had my details, gave them to him. And yeah, they rang me. His wife rang me and was like, we need this fragrance flower. Like, where do we get it from? And I was like, and they ordered a three flower bundle, 3 scent circles, and then they repeat order now all the time.
I love that. See, again, that wasn't for him, that was for his wife. So
but bearing in mind, I put referral cards in all of my orders, so my customer knows that I want referrals. I put a referral card in every order, regardless of if they've ordered 20 times. Every single order.
Yeah.
They're worth getting printed.
Then your customers become connectors. I know, Lisa, I know you talked about that.
A good word of mine at the minute.
Yeah, that is yours.
If somebody says to you, I'm not interested in buying Scentsy, I'm not interested in joining, no problem. But do you know anybody that it would be? Do you know anybody that might love the product? Because I also do referral gifts. So even if you don't want to buy the product, you can be a referrer, you can be a connector. I think the biggest thing, guys, is, and the biggest thing to take away from all this, we can literally talk about this. Laura and I could talk about this for a good
all day.
Okay. We could stand here and talk about networking, how to find people, where to find people. We could give you the longest list. You could go into both of our groups and search, find new customers, and you will find post after post after post after post. If you can make sure that in your mindset, the biggest priority in your business is not sponsoring, and it's not the PRV you bring in, or it is the PRV, but technically it's the new customers, and having a constant stream of new customers coming into your business will always be growing. The minute you stop having new customers come into your business, the minute you've got that zero that runs for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, I'm promising you now, that's the downfall of your business. That's when PRV becomes hard. That's when sponsoring becomes even harder. You know, all of the people that I've sponsored recently, they've all been new customers, or they've all been new people to me in my network. They've not really people that have been buying from me for years and years and years. And if I didn't network to bring in new people and find new ways to bring in new people and get creative. This is the most important bit. You're always going to see me like, I've got a party in a box. So I've got this. I'm going to try a pouch party. Some people must be thinking, Jesus, I'm exhausted. But it's because I know the importance of finding new customers. And when you find that one thing that works for you, you get good at it and you do it over and over and over and over again. You become so consistent at parties, or so consistent at referrals, or so consistent at going out and physically networking with people. That's the secret to this business. You find what works for you and you go and get consistent with it. And then when you get consistent, you add a new string to your bow. You find another way of networking and so on. Because when that way stops, you've got something else, you've pivoted. And this is what I was saying to Laura this week is I want to be inspired. I want to be able, I also want my business to keep growing. I don't want it to be stagnant at any point. So for that to happen, the minute things seem like they're slowing down for me, I'm looking for new ideas. I'm looking for new ways to network, new ways to grow, new ways. I'm not going to keep doing the same, excuse my French, but shit over and over and over again. If it's not working, I'm not going to keep asking the same people to buy, the same people to party. Oh, that person's going to join. They're going to join when their cousin's done this and they've done that and they've done that. And I'm still asking them 6 months later. Doesn't happen in my books. Yes, I go back to people, but I'm not asking them every single day and like waiting on that one person, setting my laurels on that one person.
It's that Einstein quote, isn't it? In the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. If you're not getting a result, you've got to change something.
You got to pivot. And I think that's the secret, Laura, of what we do well, in all honesty, is that we're consistent. And sometimes people will say, well, haven't you got new content to train on? You're not coming up with new ideas. And we are, but realistically, the same things, the consistent little habits, that compound effect over time, doing the same things well over and over again are the things that bring in the 2,500 PRV, the 2 new sponsors every single month. And that secret for me is 10 new customers every month, 10 new customers to build relationships with and make them your one and only customer, or at least make them feel like they're your one and only customer. When you get that right, they're either going to be like a really big spender, or they're going to be a consistent spender, or they might buy from you every other month, or they will join your team. And who knows, they might be your golden egg that you've been waiting for that literally flies because they've got a network that is absolutely huge.
Definitely. Emma just said, not begging the people that don't want it, move on to someone that does want it. 1,000,000%. Okay. When we say that, like, if somebody says no, it's not a no forever, but don't just keep going back to that one person. Like Liz just said, you've got to be asking. Like, I always remember putting up a post in my team group and saying, like, right, who wants a new teammate? And I think people thought I was going to give them a team member. And loads of people said, me. So I went and inboxed everybody individually and was like, right, great. How many people have you asked this month? And loads of people were like, nobody. If you don't ask, the answer is always going to be no. And not everybody's going to say yes. You just have to keep asking.
You've got to think of your business like a funnel. Okay. It's a bit like SEO marketing, which I won't go into, but you have to have a funnel. Okay. Your funnel are your leads. So whether that's networking in a group, chatting to people in the street, going to the gym, going to the school, going to work, they're your leads, okay? And you draw them into your funnel with free samples or, free beers, all of that jazz. And then once they're in your funnel and once they're buying from you regularly or, every other month, then you can start to have those conversations. It's building that relationship. It's just bringing in those leads, bringing them in all the time, but also finding new places where you find them. Don't stop networking ever. It's called network marketing for a reason, okay? And quite often we're really good at the marketing. We're really good at posting on social media and posting in our customer groups and our business page. And I put it on my stories and I do this and I do that and I do this. But then we forget to talk to people. And it's the talking to people over and over again, new people over and over again, that literally will help you get promotions. It will help you earn incentives. It will help you get 2,000 PRV, all of those things. If it's not where you want it to be, go back to the new customers and network for the new customers.
You've almost got to think, I know Lisa's obviously just said about posting on social media, but like maybe think if you didn't do that, like the front bit, I don't mean they're having conversations in the inbox. If you didn't do that bit for like a week, would you have done anything for your business? Like, because if you've just done that bit, you haven't really worked. Like that is just the God's honest truth. Like your business is going to grow from what you do behind the screen, not what you post on there. Like I'm not saying it's not important.
It's a good test, isn't it? I probably post less in my customer
when I'm
group
busy. Yeah.
And like today, I don't think I've posted at all in my customer group. That's probably my own admission. I will put a post before I go to bed in there. But in all honesty, I know that I've put in an order for over 200 PRV today. I've had multiple customer conversations today. I've met up with a teammate today. I've also had another conversation with a lady who's going to join. So I've sent her my join link, and that's all happened behind the scenes.
Yeah, 100%.
None of that you will see on the front of my social media.
It's
and
almost
look at
easier, not easier, that's the wrong word. I'm trying to find the post that I put up on Friday, because Thursday, similarly, it was on prom day, or the day after prom day, when I was really tired. I was absolutely rushed off my feet, but I did loads of networking and it resulted in nearly £200 in orders. Sorry, carry on. I'm going to try and find the post that I shared in my team group.
I think we're almost ready to wrap up. I know we haven't had time to open up the floor tonight, guys. So I feel like, as I said, Laura and I could talk about this till the cows come home. I really hope that this has been beneficial, food for thought, or at least made you think, I need to speak to more people.
Definitely.
Please give us feedback and let us know. I'm hoping there is something that you're like, a light bulb went on today. I feel like a light bulb went on with us just training together on this tonight. Even when I'm talking it, I feel like it. So
every time I do, I'm like, this is why. Like, and 100% know, and I won't refer to it. Like, I know we always joke about that. I've got a whizzy mind, but I do. And it's like the only way I can describe it is when we start, like, you guys start sharing in the comments and we are buzzing off each other. Like, it is like I literally can't get my words out fast enough, because that is how much I love it, and how much I know that when you apply all these things that I shared, they work. Honestly, sometimes we'll do something and we'll get a result, and then like we'll message each other and go, "Call anyone." It's like anyone, I think it's like we know what we're talking about now after nearly 8 years, but we still get that buzz as well, and that's why we just get so excited, because we know that if you do these things consistently, it pays off. And when you start to get that, you know, you've done the groundwork, and then you get that £100 order dropping in your inbox, or that team is saying, actually, yeah, I'm interested, I want to join. It's amazing, and it's an amazing feeling, and that never changes. And we just want all of you guys to experience all of the above forever.
Yeah, I also think as well, more than anything, it's, you know, there's probably lots of you at this point in your business, you're here for a reason. There are probably lots of you that are like, okay, I don't know what to do next. I want more PRV, or I want that promotion. This is probably the one training I would say, come back and watch it over and over again, because if I was here, I am going to be here in 10 years' time, but in 10 years' time, I will still be telling you the same thing. If you come to me and you say to me, Lisa, my business is really struggling, the first question I'm going to ask you is, how many new customers have you had this month? Anybody that's had a coaching call with me will know that's the first thing I would ask you. And if you say no, none, my answer will be, well, how are you going to find some new customers? Because nothing else matters. It doesn't matter whether you have the right sponsoring conversations, or you could have 200 customers. As long as if you've had 10 new customers, there's a different, like, we've got a different conversation altogether. Okay, how are we talking to those people? What are you asking them? How are you inboxing? How are you networking with them? It's a different coaching altogether. So every time you feel stuck, ask yourself the one question: how many new customers have I had this month? And then go back to that every single time. Every single time. That is the magic sauce. When people say to me, how are you so successful? That is it. That is it. There's no other secret to it. Network marketing. It's gold. Absolute gold.
It is.
If I don't say so myself. Boom, boom. Drop the mic. She leaves. I'm ready to go to bed now because I've got bags under my eyes and I'm absolutely shattered.
I'm going to stop the recording.